everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I'm going to show you how to make this large gift box. It's a shadow box, but it's got a gatefold. So I've got this belly band around. So I'm just going to take that off. And then inside, you've got these compartments. And what I've done here is I have taken apart a Sephora reed diffuser, which I bought for £3.99, I think it was, from Home Bargains. And I peeled the sticker off. I'll show you all of that in the video. And I've added this pretty paper and this little sentiment. I've added some ribbon around the reeds there. And then these were a last minute thing. I might end up still changing that, but I've added these chocolates because I had them for what I thought was going to be for another project. So they're more of a pink colour. I would have preferred something a bit more purpley. But there's chocolates in there just to kind of show you how much you can fit in here. You don't have to add the compartments. You can take this out completely and just have one box. You might just want to have the long one. You may want to have one that goes this way. I show you how it's quite easy to adapt them to any size that you want. You could personalise and customise all inside here. You can add a gift card. There's a lot you can do with this. It's going to be great for so many occasions. Just change your papers. I think you've got some lovely Christmas gifts here, birthday presents, etc. And then the belly band will just wrap itself around. I've done it a little bit snugger than I normally would just because of what's inside, and I want to make sure it does all hold. But once this is kind of taken off, that's it then, you know, the gifts will be removed. And my mum will probably recycle this. She tends to recycle a lot of the gift boxes I give her, and she gives them to her friends. But it's a really easy one. No dies are needed for this one at all. So let's get into the tutorial and I'll show you how it's done. So this is the original box that it was in. Nice enough box. I've got boxes pretty much identical to this on the channel, and I'll link them up there if I remember. But it was ripped here, so I needed to do something a bit different. So that's what we're doing. So I have used this paper pad here, Berry Blush, Back to Basics by Dovecraft. Quite an old one. Again, if I can see anywhere selling it, I'll link it below. I've already done two sides of the shadow box, and then I've got these pieces for the rest. So for the base, you want a piece of 6 by 11. I might cut another piece and then stick them together using the construction glue again, just so the base is nice and strong. But I think maybe when I put pattern paper on that, that might be enough. So then you'll want two pieces of, you want to do 8, not 7.5. So just imagine I have 1 inch there. So 8 by 11, two pieces. Along this 8-inch side, you're going to score at 1, 3.5, 4.5 and 7. Okay, then you'll want two pieces of 6 by 8. Along the 8-inch side, you're going to score at 1, 3.5, 4.5 and 7. And then rotate it, doesn't matter which end because they're both the same. And you're going to score at 1 and 5 down to the second score line. So 1 past that first score line down to the second, and then at 5 past the first score line down to the second. With this piece here where you've just scored, so where we've just scored down these two here to the second score line, rotate that round. You're now going to cut down these, but as you cut down, remove the score line. So I'm cutting to the left hand side here, cut down to that score line, and then cut across to the end of that third score line. If you've made my other shadow boxes, and I did a tutorial not that long ago with this exact same thing, it was the little photo frame card that I did. So again, down to that second score line, and then nice and neatly cut down and across. You want to mark that with a pencil first and a ruler, and if I turn it back again, you want something like that. And then you can fold and burnish the score lines. You might want to fold and burnish the score lines before, it doesn't matter too much. Fold and burnish all the score lines on the other pieces as well. Okay, so this piece is going to sit on top of this one here. So I would just cut a little bit off of this end, just a little bit, so it doesn't catch and it runs nice and flat. Okay, I'm going to use the construction glue. So this is the Calcott. There's lots of construction glues on the market. I've got this one linked below, and it's the all-purpose clear. So just cover the bottom there and then lay that down, so that panel and the one with the glue, and then just fold that 1-inch one over and then fold it back in the opposite direction. And then when you bring that up, you've got that equal, well in this case it's a rectangle, but you've got nice right angles there. Everything's how it should be. And then with this one, it doesn't matter what end because they both are 1 inch, but I've obviously got mine at half. But just take the right hand one in that case. And again, you're going to add your glue. And then again, folding that panel and the one with the glue. Your one, just trim a little bit off that end one, just like you did again on this one. And then it will lay closer to that one and then just fold it over. I don't know why I cut that one to 7.5 and not 8, but never mind. It will still work. It's just got a little less on the bottom. Okay, so I've got my other 2 pieces here. So now we've got the top and the bottom and the sides. Now you want to cover them all. Again, I'm using construction glue on all of this. I need this to be very strong. So you'll want 4 pieces for these ones, which are 2 1/4 by 10 3/4. So I've got my other 2 to cover this one. And you can see where I've covered this one here. So you'll want 1 piece that's 2 1/4 by 5 3/4, and then 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Again, I've got these pieces here. So I'm going to get those all stuck down. Okay, so this is how it's all going to look when it's together. So these are going to slide underneath these ones here. Okay, so with the joins here, I've got mine all on the bottom, but all facing inside. So again, joins there and there. I'm going to use the quick grab glue on these parts. And what you want to do is cover that 1 inch kind of section there. And then also that up there, that kind of triangle there. And then you're going to take this one and just pop that in. And just make sure the corners all line up there. The bottom's nice and secure. And just make sure that's kind of grabbed, and then you can go on to the next corner. So again, my glue in there, and again my joins at the bottom there. Just slide that one in. And what you can also do is use the grids on your mat. So if you've got a ruler or something, just to make sure, so that one is running nice and parallel with that line there. And then I can just check. In fact, if I line this one up, because this is dry, and then I can move this around until it's nice and straight. There we go. And again, add your glue like so, and then you've got to do this one all at the same time. So I'm just going to sit the base down and then just kind of lift up those corners. If for some reason maybe you've got a little gap or something doesn't quite look right, you could easily cover it, you know, pop a bow on there or some ribbon, or maybe put a layer of card, you know, pattern paper on the top here. There's a few ways to disguise it. I'm just going to turn it that way, just make sure. There we go, that's better. Just get that right in. It should be quite a strong structure. It stands up really nicely. These could be decorative wall kind of frames as well. If you've got lightweight things, you could hang that, pop a, you know, a little hole there and a little nail on the wall, and you could, you know, easily have some things in there. Or even that way, if you've got like a paper vase that you've made, you could put something in the middle. There's quite a few ways to use it. And then this one is now going to just stick right on the bottom to form the box. So I'm going to use the construction glue now and just cover the 4 sides. So just spread out some of that glue, and then I'm just going to place that one, flip that over, again just add a little bit of pressure and just set that aside now and let that completely dry. Okay, so I'm just working out the dividers. So I want to have a divider. This is going to be positioned here, and then the actual reeds here, I've just popped some ribbon. They're going to be in this portion here. So I want to have a 1/2 inch divide going up here, and then I'm going to put another divide here so we can have another little gift in that part. So I'm going to do them in steps because a lot of you might just want to keep this nice size, and you can put a big gift in there, wrap some tissue, you know, and you can have it that way. So I think it's nice to break these bits down. So if you want to do the divide that's going to go right up through the middle, you want to cut a piece that's just, it's just a smidge over 9. You want it to, that's 9 inches, this here, this height, but you want that to feel quite snug in there. So just go a little bit over 9, or just, you know, do 9 1/8 and then trim a little bit off once you've cut it. I keep bringing this in. If if you can see, when I slide that in, I can hear it on the sides. It holds itself. That's kind of what you want it to do. So just go a little bit bigger than 9 and then trim a little bit off until you've got it nice and snug. And then that's 6.5 wide. Along the 6.5, you want to score at 1/2, 3, 3.5 and 6. Okay. And then on this far right, again, I'm just going to snip a little bit off, just a slither, just so it all sits nicely on top of itself. And then I'm just going to fold and burnish the score lines. Okay, and again on that edge that I've just taken a little bit off, I'm going to add my glue, like so, and then again fold that one over and the one with the glue, and then fold that one. Each time you do this, just make sure everything lies nice and flat, and then fold it back that way. Again, give it a good burnish. Okay, I'm going to cover it with pattern paper, but just again, just go in and just check that it's going to slide in like so. You want it to hold itself. We're going to attach the glue at the bottom, but you want that to be able to lock in there. So I want it to hold this in place, and then they're just going to kind of sit in there. I mean, there's a lot of room for them, but you know, it's fine for now. Like I said, my mum recycles a lot of her boxes that I give her, and she gives them to her friend. She'll take the gift out, and then she could pop some chocolates all in there and other bits and pieces. So I'm going to cover the sides of this one first. So again, 2 1/4 by, this time it would be 8 3/4, and you want 2 pieces. So what I'm going to do now is add the construction glue all along here. And then I'm going to take that out for the minute. I'm going to use my ruler because I know I want this to be 2 1/4. So, which is there. Okay, that all looks good to me. This is going to be tacked in place with a little foam tab, just so it doesn't wobble around. So that's going to drop in there. So now I can do, got to make sure that that's 2 1/4 at the bottom. What I need to do is just, because it's hard to measure the bottom, it's easy to move the top because that's obviously not completely attached. What I'm going to do is just take a piece of card and I can slide that in, and then make sure the bottom is 2 1/4. So I'm just going to bring that down, just slide that all the way down so that moves nicely. Yeah, so that is 2 1/4. Once that other piece goes in here, that's going to support that even more. I mean, you could do, if you didn't have what I've got going in this, you could do a small one here as well. So then it would stop that rocking. So I'm going to have one this side. But like I said, for what I'm doing it for, it's going to be fine. So I'm going to cut a piece of 6.5 by 2 1/4. Okay, and then this one you're going to score the same again. So at 1/2, this is along the long side, at 1/2, 3, 3.5 and 6. Fold and burnish the score lines, and then at one of the ends you're just again going to trim a little bit off the edge, and then I'm going to use my construction glue like so, and then fold that tab and the one with the glue. I've gone very crooked there. There we go, and then fold that one over. Ignore that score line I've got there, that's all going to get covered anyway. And then again go back that way and just do a little test. And you want that to be quite snug at the bottom there, like so. It's up to you where you position this. I want to bring mine quite low down, so that's kind of, you know, really secure in there. And then I'm going to get some treat. Actually, I have these. Now they're more pinky. These are just for you, milk chocolate hearts. I think they were from Home Bargains, I want to say. So what I'm going to do is just try and trim that off. I might add a bow or something, but I think I might put them in a clear bag. I think that'd look quite sweet. So again, I'm going to stick that down, but also you want to add your pattern paper. So you'll want 2 pieces of 2 by 2 1/4. Okay, because I'm not adding a support on this side, like I said, the measurements of the 6 1/2 that I give you will be the same for all of these pieces. It's just the widths that will change, and that's where you can have them however you want. So if you did want to add one in here, obviously it depends how, if you've done this one to the measurements I've done of 2 1/4, this section here is 1 1/4. So you do the 6 1/2 by 1 1/4, score the same as I did. Because I haven't got that support, can you see it can easily go that way? So I am just going to add, and this will be enough to hold it in place, but I'm going to add some glue just literally on the sides. It's the only area that I can attach any glue, but it will just tack itself in place like so. Okay, so I've gone and got a lot stuck down. I'm going to talk you through all the measurements, and I've decided to do this as a gatefold closure. So this one's going to attach underneath. I've already stuck that one down, and then when these come around, you get that lovely finish. And then I've got this topper and some strips there to make a belly band. I've just popped them into some clear bags here. These are from, I think I got them from Amazon. I got loads because I use these for the chocolate stirrers that I make. So that's got rid of that. And then I've just popped this sticker on there. You don't have to do that, to be honest. I think I might change it. I think it looks I think it's too plain. I like the idea, but I think I need to have just something a little bit better. So I just use these. It's just 25 sheets, universal labels, and I just stamped that sentiment. But I think I want to, I don't know, add something a little bit more. They peel off really easily, and the other one, this one, just peeled off. I don't know if I said the flavour, it's or the scent, it's rhubarb and cassis. It's a lovely one. But otherwise, I'm happy with everything there. I've also just popped a strip across there just to secure that a bit better in place. But that's all now. You can see I mean, nothing's going to fall out. That's got a bit of foam pad on the back of it as well, but it can easily be pulled out. So first of all, so I know that I've gone through all the measurements, I'm going to talk about these pieces here. So you want to cut yourself 2 pieces of 10 1/2 by 3/4. That's if you want to decorate them like I have. And then 2 pieces of 3/4 by 5 1/2. And then I think I came in, yeah, 3/4 of an inch. So on both pieces, just flip it over, and with a ruler, well, in fact, you don't have to do both pieces. You can just do one, but just come in 3/4 of an inch, like so. And then I'm just going to cut across from that pencil mark down to the point, like so. So now when I flip it over, you can see there now that's the perfect angle. Now if you just loop this, don't fold it, just loop it so it lines up with the other end, and then cut across, like so. And then take that one, sit it on top of your shorter piece. So you only have to mark one of them, and then you can just line up all the rest. Obviously, if it's got a direction, your pattern paper, then you'll have to make sure you're getting your angles. But this is a non-directional, so it's perfect. But now you can see when I sit those all in place, so you get a nice purple gap in between each. There you go, you can see how that looks. So I'll stick all those down in a minute. I just want to make sure I've gone through all the measurements. Then you're going to want 2 pieces of 6 5/8 by 11, and along the 6 5/8 side you want to score at 1 and 3 1/2. Okay, fold and burnish all of the score lines, and then you're going to just snip a little bit off of the bottom there, and then I'm going to use my glue, just cover that 1 inch tab, and then just sit it on the bottom and bring this up next to it. Just going to make sure mine lines up with the other one, like so, and just repeat that on that side, but you can really push in and make sure everything runs nice and flush and it's all neat. Okay, so whilst that's drying, you'll then want to cut yourself 4 pieces of 2 7/8 by 10 3/4, and that's for the insides of these larger panels and the outside. And then you'll want 4 pieces of that 10 3/4 by 2 1/4, and they cover both sides, so you can see that's all covered there. So now if I open that one up, it's all secure. So I'm going to stick these 2 down. Okay, so whilst that's all drying, I've cut these 2 pieces here, which are scraps. So they're 11 inches, these ones, by 1 inch. And I just want to stick 2 of them together. So just cover about 1 inch. And then just pop the join on the bottom there, so it's kind of in the middle of your box. And then just bring up the sides. You don't need to score any of this, you can literally just fold it around. But make sure it's quite snug, but not too tight that they can't take it off. I'm just going to snip that join a little bit there. And then wherever it overlaps, I'm then going to add my glue. And then I'm just going to use my hot glue and just place that one down there. So I'm just going to leave that now all to dry, and I'm just going to look at changing the sticker on the bottle. Okay, what I've done is I've taken some of the matching paper, and then I've got these here, I've had them for ages, Butterfly Kisses, and you get all these puffy stickers. This, especially for you, is the perfect match. So I'm just going to place that in the middle and wrap it around, because it's soft, but because it's padded, I think it just gives it a really nice look. It should hold. If I see it lifting, then I'll just have to use my stronger glue on that. That now looks really sweet. And then once she adds the reeds, she'll probably keep the bow on there as well. How pretty has that become? So just taking off peeling off the labels and, you know, adding your own design can really work. And then I'm just going to slide that down so it sticks back on that foam. I just cleaned it with rubbing alcohol, comes off really easily. So there you have it. I think that looks really nice. My only criticism would be that they were more purple, because there's no pink in this, but I think it still looks lovely. So now that all wraps around, and then I've just added a bigger butterfly, because there's so much space, it can definitely have something bigger on there. And then I'm going to cut myself another piece of 6 by 11 and stick that on the back so that it just covers up that join, or stick them down behind the frame and then stick the frame onto that piece, but it's just going to strengthen that anyway. So that's everything finished. So I hope you've enjoyed this fun shadow box, compartment shadow box, I think I'll call it, or gatefold shadow box, I'm not sure. As I always say, it's a great one for so many occasions. Just change your papers and the layout of the compartments. You don't even have to have those, you've just got then a nice size gift box. I'll try and link as much of the product that I've used in the description box below. And coming up now will be some other fun gift boxes that you might want to watch next. And if you're not subscribed and you've enjoyed today, consider subscribing. And if you do, hit the notification bell, and that way you won't miss out on any future videos. See you all again soon. Bye.